Well, all this hiking weather has us all feeling like we want to get out and about. So how does Shakespeare in the Park or a cool bonsai garden sound? Well, Art Zone's Nancy Guppy is back with 5 great ways to spend your time. Hey there.
Hey, you girl. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
You look so bright and beautiful.
Well, thank you. Always you. You bring in all the flowers.
I bring all the flowers. I'm like Cisco in a woman form.
In a woman form. You're also bringing all the fun events.
I am. So let's start with Gallery Mac.
Okay.
So this is just on the north edge of Pike Place Market.
Okay.
Opened in 1974, celebrating their 50th anniversary with a big blowout group show called Mac at 50. So the mission of this gallery has always been to represent contemporary art from established and up-and-coming artists, all of them who live in and around the Pacific Northwest. So it's got a very strong regional personality. A lot of paintings, of course, and as you can see, really cool, tremendous, unique sculptures made of all sorts of materials, glass, wood, bronze. Isn't that interesting? I know, like some sort of a skull or something. It's also important to mention that Gallery Mac is very community-oriented, meaning they work to create an environment where artists, art enthusiasts, collectors can come together, exchange ideas. It's a very dynamic, alive space.
I like it.
So it's a wondrul gallery. 50 years, a big deal. It runs through the 12th of July.
Speaking of galleries.
Let's go to Four Culture Gallery in Pioneer Square. It's called Assimilations is the show. And it's mixed media paintings by John Fedorov. So a little background. John is a member of Navajo Nation, and he started these paintings as a response to a 20th, that's him obviously right there, a 20th century Christian hymn book written in Navajo that his mother has passed down to him.
Oh, wow.
So the hymn book was used by Pentecostal missionaries who went to the reservation to convert Navajo people and convince them, sadly, to abandon their traditional spiritual practices and beliefs. This kind of thing happened. So that was John's starting point for these paintings. Then he began to think about his own experience of growing up in Southern California, the suburbs, and then more broadly about how colonization and assimilation both influence and distort reality. So all of that information is embedded in the paintings. That said, they're big, and they're very beautiful, and there's only one more day to see the show.
Oh,
so that's June 27th.
So it's passionate, so go like now.
Go now.
Go today.
Go today.
You have permission after the show to go.
Yeah. You gotta wait till the show's over.
Right. Okay, something totally different.
Completely, and this is in Bremerton, and it's called Elandon Gardens. And I just read about this recently. So I know Dan and I hadn't either. Dan and Diane Robinson, they're the owners, and Dan is a bonsai master. So the garden, there it is. It's located on an 8-acre former landfill that Dan and Diane took over 30 plus years ago and turned it into this really beautiful gem, a gorgeous gem. Approximately, I think, around 350 bonsai trees. And Dan's aesthetic, self-described as gnarliness. So there are all sorts of big wood snags that they've collected from the area. Stalactites from China are on display. It's got an otherworldly feel. And in addition to the garden, Diane runs the Not Your Typical Gift Shop. It's packed with one-of-a-kind items from around the world. So this is a labor of love, clearly, and it's also, lucky for us, open to the public through the summer.
Right on.
Thursday through Sunday, 10 to 4.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Something else that's kind of gnarly.
I love this one. This is and I think we've talked about this before, maybe. The 8th annual Seattle Recycled Arts Show is back. We might, I don't know if we have. I've thought of talking to you about it. So it's a creative and popular event. It features over 65 pieces of recycled art by 43 artists. The rules are very simple.
Okay, give them to me.
Anything goes as long as the materials being used are used, right? So as you can see, they make the artists make these really delightful pieces. So what I love about this show too is it's clearly a message show, reduce, reuse, recycle, but it's being delivered in a fun, out-of-the-box sort of way. And so there's a certain charm and certain whimsical quality to it. It's really lovely. The show opens Saturday, June 6th at Fogue Studios and Gallery in Georgetown, and I think the big opening is the following Saturday, maybe the 13th or something like that. But that's a really, really fun show.
Yeah. My kids would love that. I remember doing that at the Children's Museum when I was a kid.
Making things?
They would have you do like recycled art. And I mean, mine obviously looked just like some of those pieces.
Of course they did. Yes, of course. They were bought. They were purchased quickly, right?
All right, et tu Brute, Shakespeare in the Parks.
Yes, summer, which means Shakespeare in the Park. Now, have you ever done this? Have you ever done it here? Gone to the Shakespeare in the Park?
No, I have not, but I've read every single Shakespeare play.
Well, that's the thing. I know that you're a Shakespeare aficionado, right? Well, a guru. So Seattle Shakespeare Company's outdoor summer play program, it's called Wooden O, which is a Shakespeare reference, I believe. No, we'll see.
Maybe.
You would know.
Okay,
You would know. This is where classical plays are performed in parks. This year's production is The Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Oh, yeah.
These photos are not from that production because they don't have their photos yet. But the basic storyline, if I'm correct, you correct me if I'm wrong. Two best friends, far from home, fight over the same girl. Is that the basic idea?
Yes.
Throw in some songs, disguises, and I believe there's a bit with a real dog, maybe. And you've got family-friendly fun. So, so these performances take place in parks all throughout the region. They're free. No tickets needed. You show up with your picnic basket and just get ready to have a great time. The first performance is this Thursday, June 27th at Mercer Island. I think it's Luther Burbank Park, maybe.
Okay.
And then the whole schedule, dates, and locations is, of course, on their New Day website.
That is so cool.
It's so fun, and I love that it's free and it's totally family friendly.
What a gift!
Yeah,
what a gift! Whoever's sponsoring them, kudos to them.
I know.
Seriously.
I know.
All right, well, like Nancy said, we're going to link all of these great ideas on our website. You can, of course, catch Art Zone on Seattle Channel 21 and streaming if you want more Nancy in your life, which who does not, my friends?
We won't list those people.